And we're back. Winged Sports with two good friends, Isaiah Stoker, Mr. Toby Foreman, who came in the SFA together in 96, fall of 96. Fellas, I appreciate you joining my show.
No
Thank you for
problem.
having us.
Good to be here.
All right. You don't know much about these two fellas, but we have Toby Foreman from West Orange Start, and we have Isaiah Stoker from Longview with a long legend of East Texas football greats. Can you tell us a little about your high schools? Toby, we'll start with you.
So for me, it's I grew up in that program because my father came over from Lamar University in 1977 when West Orange and Stark merged to combine, and so man, I was the ball boy. I was an assistant coach. I played there. I was an offensive coordinator, head track coach. Um, that's been a program that for me that I wouldn't be where I'm at had it not been through going through that program because with the outstanding coaches that we had, and then the head coach who was there forever. I paid attention. I learned a lot. Learned how to compete. Learn how to compete against people that are maybe more talented than me. And like I said, it made me to what I am today.
How long did your dad coach there?
Off and on for about 30 years. Off and on for 30 years. He left a couple times to become a head coach, and then he went back. Then he left and went to Waxahachie as a defensive
Okay.
coordinator, and then he bounced back. And then we both left together in the spring of 2011. I was the head track coach, and we had just completed our third straight state championship in track, and I ended up leaving, and I've been gone now for 14 years.
Man, and when he was in Waxahachie, that was when you was at SFA because I sure
Correct.
appreciate those rides home, man. If you don't recall, because I do.
No, yeah, Dad. He just had shoulder replacement surgery, and
That ain't fun.
he's recovering from that. But man, my dad's just a great guy. I tell people all the time. Some people say, I got the best dad in the world. I really do think I do have the best dad in the world, and he was, great guy. I tell people this. I warn them. I'm nothing like my dad. Not that I'm a bad person, just like I'm a little crazier than Pops is. But nah, man, he would give you the shirt off his back.
I recall, man, a couple of times I met him, man. He was a great dude. Uh, Stoke, man, what about your Longview Lobos, man? What you got to tell us about them?
Longview, man. Them Lobos, man. So coming East Texas, I know back, and we still play some tough competition coming out of Longview, but it's so many athletes come through Longview. You just start naming them, man. But the good thing about Longview, man, it was really competitive. So you had to work. If you were starting, I mean, you worked to get there because there was so many athletes that could have probably started in that position if you was a starter. So a lot of really good coaches, good system. Coach Robert Bureau was the head coach when I was coming through, and back then it was sweep right, sweep left. So if you was a running back, we passed the ball, but it was a lot of running. And so I think it helped me out because it got me scholarship, got me looks at colleges because it was sweep left, sweep right, blast left, blast right. So they was feeding the ball. The bad thing about it though was teams would key in on me, but it was all good, just a really good program. You had good track program. And so you just had a lot of good athletes that come through Longview, man. They develop you really well coming out of that program.
Well, I know y'all got some big time players that end up making to the NFL, like Trent Williams. I think he might be on the Mount Rushmore of left tackles.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, with Trent, big Trent Williams, man. Yeah, Bobby Taylor, man.
Did you play with either one of them?
No, I didn't play with Trent. Was younger than me.
Okay.
Bobby was a few years ahead of me.
Okay.
And so yeah, but I seen him play. You had a lot of good guys that come out of there. Some that went into some big schools like Michigan, all over the
Arkansas.
place, Texas. I mean, we had a lot of good players come out of Longview, man, and so and make it to the NFL.
Well, I said, East Texas. Who did you play? Did you play against? No, you didn't get to play against Dez, did you?
Against who? Dez Bryant?
He was younger than you, right?
Yeah, I didn't play against Dez Bryant, and he was in Lufkin. But Lufkin was tough. That was always a tough game.
I mean, beat Lufkin, Marshall,
Marshall,
Tyler.
John Tyler,
Like, yeah,
Tyler
man.
Lee. Always, those are all tough games back in the day.
Coach, did y'all even have to play in one of those districts not too long ago, Toby?
You talking to me? No. So my issue has always been in like the postseason. We always catch the Duncanville DeSoto district in the first round, and then when we dropped down to 5A, we caught the Alito district in the first round. So, and that was Denton Ryan, those guys. But so Longview for us would be a second or fourth round game if we caught them in the postseason. Now we're always in the region with them in the other sports. We see them like at the regional track meet. And when Coach King's son was throwing the district discus, Haynes, they were in our. I think they may have been in our area one year, but I know they're in our region because I watched him throw the discus. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna echo what Stoke says. Hey, Stoke, y'all know that Pat House is coaching at
Yeah, I know.
House is that Longview's coaching there.
Yeah, he's safety DB coach. Yeah, there was some folks that was telling me that's in Longview. I was just talking to him about it, and I actually seen him. I think when they was playing, I don't know if it was Denton Ryan or someone. It was on TV playing. I seen him, and who was that? Can't think of the other.
Somebody that played the SFA?
Yeah, I think Denton Ryan or somebody it was playing, but I seen him on TV.
Was it Daylaw?
Yeah, it was Daylaw.
Yeah, I seen both of them on the field, and I know they got a chance to catch up. But that was I think Longview lost that game. But yeah, I seen that Pat was there.
Yeah.
And then on my staff, Richard Daniels is on my staff.
Oh,
Rich is on my staff, and look, when I first got here, Kevin Ellison was on the staff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you competing against him because he's what at Killeen High?
He's a defense coordinator at Ellison.
Okay, yeah. I was looking at y'all's schedule, man. How y'all end up playing a school from New Mexico? That's what I saw.
A school. So man, I couldn't find. I'm not lying. Like I could not find a week 2. I couldn't. It was, and when I got here, that team from Mexico, they were on our schedule, and they got off the schedule, and so I hadn't had to play them in some years, but I just needed a game. You know what I mean? And they come the first game and play Temple, and then the second game they come and they play me. But man, they were like they were like 4-2 last year. Like they beat Texas City. I mean, they won some games.
Man, y'all won by 2. So I'm like, man, they must have been playing some good football.
Look, we had to beat them in 5 overtimes. Like it was crazy. It was crazy. But I'll give those guys credit.
What up, Noah?
For being where they're at. Man, look, they do a good job of coaching those kids up.
Come on, man. I'm looking at the schedule because I went to the playoff game when y'all played DeSoto. And so now I want to, kind of look at your schedule again. And I'm like, Mexico, like that's so rare, man. That, you see a school playing for Mexico. I know Florida comes up here or they might go to California, but I ain't know. That's the first time I've ever seen a school from Mexico. High school.
So Temple, I guess, has played them the most of the people in this area. But, man, they play some teams out in West Texas. But they've played us multiple times, Temple multiple times. And then I know, like I said, they played Texas City for a little while. But and right after our game, they actually beat Texas City, which that's a big win for them. I mean, that's a huge win for them.
Do any other schools go to Mexico to play, or they always come?
No, not that I'm aware of. So they have multiple levels of that thing. They have like a JUCO, and because their JUCO comes and plays UMHB, they play them right after us, and they may or may not have kids playing in both them games. Like, because y'all know, I mean, I don't know what grade they're in, all that. I just know every year they show up, they're tough. You know, and you gotta compete. What's up, B North?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, y'all perennial playoff contenders. Y'all just don't get the luck of the draw when it comes to the region or whatever, because no one wants to face defending state champions the first round. That's just not what you're looking for.
Yeah, but in all fairness, though, we've got to do a better job of at being better in our district, because if we finish higher in our district, we won't have to. Now, we did one year we were 6A, we were the number 1 seed, and we we hosted DeSoto. So I've hosted them, and I went. So you're right, that was kind of bad luck, but that was a year that Duncanville and DeSoto were in the same division. So we were the 1 seed, so we played DeSoto, and Hargreaves was a 2 seed, and they went to Duncanville. But yeah, I mean, that's a tough draw. I mean, it's, but I look at it like this. I got all the respect in the world for Coach Mathis and Coach Samples. You coach against and play against teams like that, and it makes you better as a coach, and it makes you better as players.
Yeah. And, football ain't the only thing y'all excelling at, man. I paid close attention to you. Well, before we get off football, I just want to say congrats to Stoke in the Longview Lobo because y'all beat up on DeSoto this year. I bought the little TH high school network so I can watch some playoff football, and I turned it off by halftime. It was over with.
Yeah, that's when I started watching it too. When they started getting into the playoffs, man, it get good. So, but that was a good game. But they got beat up. Yeah, they did beat them up pretty good.
It's kind of hard for you to, even watch those games unless you have that little network, the high school network, huh?
No, I mean, sometimes that somebody have it on YouTube or what wants to get into the playoffs. So somebody always streaming it somewhere. So we always get ready to get a chance to catch it.
Y'all got a fan club. I know that much.
Oh yeah, I mean that's Longview, man. That's Longview, East Texas.
All right, but track, Longview, that y'all was good at track too. But Toby, man, y'all had a great track season, man.
Brother, let me tell you. So dating back to last spring of 2024, people don't realize we finished 4th in 5A last year, and Fort Bend Marshall beat us. My sprint relay, we had a kid get injured at the state track meet in the race, so that kind of put us out of. We got 6th place, but this year we won the area, and again, we're in the area with DeSoto and Duncanville.
Yeah.
And it was a group effort. I mean, we were good in some field events and some races, but the relays were really good. And then we go to regionals, and we lost to DeSoto by 1 point. I think it was like 71-70, and that was a big deal because the year before we had lost to Marshall in that region by 2 points. So we've been really, really close. And then what killed me was because we got the 4x2 out, the 4x4 out, and our kid in the discus. But man, our 4x1 ran a 40.6 and got 4th. And we handed off the stick to the anchor leg. We were right there with DeSoto. But the anchor leg from that Cypress school, the kid that ran the 10 flat, and then the kid from Duncanville that ran the 9.8 or 9.9, I mean, we just couldn't hold them off, and we lost out. Because if I would have gotten 3 relays of state, I believe we'd have won it. So we ended up losing the state track meet literally by 3/100ths of a second. A kid from Spring to Caney came and beat us. They ran the number two time in the nation. We ran the number 3 fastest time in the nation in the 4x2, and he out-leaned us at the tape, or else we would have been state champions, co-champions with Lamar. But man, we ran a 1:23.5. That's the fastest time that's ever been ran in this town. And then in the mile relay, Stoke, we ran a 3:13.7 and got 4th, dog, in the mile relay. And that's that's the fastest time that's been ran in this town in 30 years.
Wow, man, that's still moving. And I've been seeing some crazy times coming out of high school, man, especially out of Texas, man, with these 4x1s.
Yep. Well, my co-host for my podcast, his son is Tate Taylor. That's the one who won state this year in the 200. That's his son.
So here's
I didn't realize that was his son, man.
So here's what's crazy about that. Wow. We ran every year. We run down in Judson at that track meet because it's a good competition, and I like how they run it. And I believe they were there at that track meet, but man, I didn't even notice the young man. But I will tell you, at the state track meet, the most impressive thing about that whole state track meet, and I think it's just because a lot of people didn't really know a lot about it, that kid was the most impressive person at the track meet. What he did in the 100, but then what he did in the 200 was unbelievable. We were warming up. So how they have it, Stoke, is this. They have us warming up in the football stadium, and then they walk us across the street to the track. But in the football stadium, you got the big screen. The Jumbotron is live in the stadium in the track, so you can see all the races. When that dude ran that, of course, we were rooting for him because we needed one of the other schools not to score high in the deuce. But, man, look, when he ran that time, I thought he was going to go 19. I was like, man, this is unbelievable.
He lit up at the end.
Fast.
Yeah, but I will tell you, he has perfect track build to be an Olympian, straight up.
All right. So his dad is one of my best friends from high school. So he went to North Texas on football scholarship. Tore his ACL surgery that same year. Went and did track. He made it to nationals in the 100. I mean, so he was on the 4x1 relays, in DeSoto my senior year, junior, senior, all through high school. But yeah, his dad had track too. So it's 30 years later, and now his son is doing this. It's crazy, man. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. How did they end up down there?
Family, don't always stick together. So, mom went away where she was from, and he stayed up here. And
well, can you ask him if he has any family in Killeen?
Because his daughter runs track for Incarcerated World in San Antonio. So she's there, and Tate doing his thing. He the baby, so he done seen big sister and seen dad do his thing, and and normally the baby that come and I perform everybody.
Hey, so Toby, what was the winning time on that mile relay then? Because you said 3:13. I know we ran 3:12 back in the day and won state with it.
So let me back it up. Coming out of the region, Houston Lamar ran 3:08. But they ran a 3:11 that day. So the last time, when I was a sophomore at West Orange Stark, I was an alternate on the 4x4. And that's when Beaumont Westbrook ran their 3:08, 3:07, 3:09. They had Marlon Ramsey and those guys. There was a couple of races that year, a couple of meets where I had to fill in. And one of them in particular, we used to run at Ty Terrell relays at Lamar University. It was a 2-day meet. It was an invitational, so it was a college, high school, and professional meet. But man, we had a really good anchor leg. He didn't want to get embarrassed, so he tapped out. So they made me run anchor leg. Look, they ran like a 3:09 that day. Dog, when I got the baton, their anchor leg was already at the 300-meter hurdle mark. He was gone, but that's the last time I've seen anybody run under a 3:09 ever. And so we were right there with them. I had one leg that ran his split was in the 49s. And the rest of them were low 48s to 47s, and we knew we had to have all 48 lows or better, and we just had the one kid. But I got 3 kids back off that team. We had 2 sophomores and a junior run on that team.
A lot of people don't realize how fast that is running the 3:08, 3:09. We ran 3:12, like I said, and won the state championship in Texas back in 95. But man, you're hearing times like, and that's hard to do, man. You got to sprint that thing around. And like you said, everybody
sprint a 400.
You got to sprint 47, 48s. Man, I just think back to that. I was thinking like, wow, man, that was crazy to be able to run that way and just sprint around the whole track, man, and come out with a 3:12. But yeah, I still think that's a fast time, 3:12. But man, I'm hearing 3:10s and 3:08s. Some of these times now, some of these high school teams is crazy.
These kids got better training, man, and they've been running. It's just that's why they running sub 10s now in the 100.
We have 6 kids that qualify for the Junior Olympics in Houston next week, and I'm going to try to get down there. I don't know if I'll be able to make it, but I mean the head coach that I have with me here in track. He was with me at Beaumont Central. Really good guy. He's from Missouri, but he ran college track and he competed a little bit. He does the mile relay, and then myself and one other coach, we do the 4x1 and 4x2. So we work really, really well together. And then we had a kid that threw the discus like 187 or 188. Big old tight end. He's 6'7". He's playing with he's at UTSA right now.
Man, but Stoker, I got to brag on Toby real quick, because we Facebook friends, and for spring break, track practice, that's when a lot of people skip out on spring break. They trying to go here, they trying to go there. They might be lying. Toby had over 100 kids at practice during spring break. Am I lying?
Dedication.
Stoke, one day I'll send you a video. We had 126 kids one day show for track break. Now that's girls and guys, but I don't even care. Like, that's impressive. That is impressive.
That is. That's dedication. That's I mean, you're doing something right. And when I see something like that, because the kids could have been anywhere.
And that's why they competing at the level they're competing at, man, because y'all competing at practice. You know what I'm saying? When y'all get to the track meet, y'all ready to show out. Y'all ready to perform. So, yeah, man, congrats
And
to
the
that.
good thing about it is probably was a volunteer. You could have, they had a choice to be there, and then they made a decision to be there.
I mean, here's the deal. I mean, I get it. If your family booked a cruise, but here's the thing, though. We tell them at the beginning of the season, if you're going to be out of time for spring break, if you're on a relay, because that's our thing is the relays. If you're on a relay, when you come back, if you're not on that relay, that's on you. That's on you. So they understand that you're right. You ain't got to show up, but hey, you ain't got to be on that relay.
Pressure. There's a little pressure there.
There's a lot of pressure.
We actually had a run. This is the first time since I was at West Orange Start. We had a runoff between regionals and state to see who was going to run on the 4x2. That's how many. Because this year, I know it sounds crazy because we ran the third fastest time in the nation in that relay. We didn't have anybody broke at 21.5. I mean, we had a lot of kids that were running around the same times. And but we were healthy. And, man, they hit I'm not lying. When I tell you, Stoke, we hit the handoffs perfect. Like, I don't think we could have ran any faster than what we ran. I mean, we ran the most. We ran the max.
And that's all you can ask for, though, man. You can't always have the fastest cat, but you can get that baton. You can keep that baton moving. That's what that relay is about.
Yep, I agree. And then I will say this. I don't even know if you're aware, but like our basketball team knocked off Lancaster. That's probably the biggest dub of the year because Lancaster won that Duncanville district in basketball. And they were ranked like number 28 in the nation, defending state champions. And
man, I didn't make the game.
Man, look, a lot of our fans didn't even show up because we really were inconsistent this year in basketball. And we had lost 3 out of 4 going into that game. And I'll be honest, man, I showed up for the game. I'm always going to be at our games, but they were like 6'9", 6'9", 6'8". We have one kid that was about 6'5", and the rest of them. I mean, we played the perfect basketball game, and I think they kind of overlooked us. And man, it was one of them deals where they had a couple cats getting foul trouble, and we got hot because we ended up winning by 1, but with under a minute to go, we were up by 8, and they came all the way back, and we held on at the end.
But they had a nice big man, didn't they?
Oh, who, Lancaster?
Yeah,
they had 2.
Okay,
they had 2. Because
they played Mesquite in their district, and I remember they had a big one with goggles. He was a little nasty down there.
Yeah, they kept, they didn't feed him enough. They kept shooting the 3 ball, and they just weren't hitting. If they would have been hitting, they would have killed us. But you know how it is. You live by the 3, you die by the 3. But with that type of height advantage, and I'm not, I'm a New York Knicks fan, so what I know about basketball. But that height advantage, you dish it down low and let them do their thing, and they kind of got away from that, and that killed them.
Well, that's on them. All right, let's move to SFA, man. Who recruited you guys, and what kind of made you guys choose SFA? Stoke, we'll start with you.
So Coach Cox came down. He was recruiting me, man, and he recruited hard too. I remember coming into the house, coming to the living room, man, and putting it down, and but I just wasn't sure because, and I don't know if a lot of people know this, but I had committed to Texas A&M as a DB, but I didn't want to play DB. I really wanted to play running back, and they would say that, you may play running back, but, we really want you to come in as a DB because I was playing DB too in high school, when I was playing as a running back as well. So I end up actually decommitting from them and really going with then the last minute, I think I called up Stephen F. Austin. And I remember Scotty too. I seen Scotty at a track meet and we was talking, and then we was there on a visit. He was like, "Hey, if you commit, I commit. What you gonna do, man?" And we both just say, "You know what, man, let's just do it. I just commit." And then,
so you ran against Scotty in high school?
Yeah, we seen him. I used to see him all the time at the meets.
That's what's
some of the track meets, Texas relays, when we was coming through. And then we remembered each other from a recruit visit.
Okay.
Yeah. And so Coach Cox was recruiting me hard, and so got in with Coach Cox. And I eventually said yes, and rest is history.
All right, Coach Cox, man, I love
I
Coach
think
Cox.
we may have
He
lost him,
always
Stoke.
good energy.
Did you lose me?
Nah, we lost Zach.
Oh,
I see Zach. I see him.
yeah.
Okay, can you hear him? Because I'm spinning.
Yeah. Tell him we
Yeah, I
good.
hear him.
We good.
See, I can't hear you, Zach.
Tell him we good. Damn. Okay.
Yeah, I hear him, but he can't hear you, I guess. Can you hear me, Coach?
I can hear you.
All right. He dropped out. He about to come back in.
Okay. How long have you been in Cincinnati?
Over 20 years.
Dang.
Long
That's
time.
awesome, man. So Zach, hey, I ran against Scotty too in high school because we would run against North Shore quite frequently.
Okay. So yeah, because all I remember when Scotty would show up randomly, everybody be like, "Man, I heard he fast, he this, he that," and we never seen Scotty like our freshman year until we ran 40s, and so that was my first time seeing him because it was just a lot of hearsay. But
the fastest 4 people in our class is Scotty, you 2 guys, and me. I mean, I'm just gonna keep it but here's what I like. Now, when they put me in the 100, when I was a sophomore, you know how when you run the 100, you look around, man, I know I can beat that guy. Man, I know I can beat that guy. Well, hell, everybody looked at me and said, we're gonna beat that white guy. You know what I mean? But hey, I won a lot of track meets because people underestimated the white dude.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but
you can put them up, put them down, man. You can move.
A little bit. But man, Scotty and them in North Shore could roll. I mean, we locked up against them a lot because there wasn't a whole lot of meets in Southeast Texas. We were in Houston every weekend, and I ran against them at Rice. We ran against them in LaPorte. They were at Bayshore Olympics, Baytown. They would be down there, all in that, and then they would come sometimes to Beaumont run.
How far is that drive from West Orange Stark to Houston?
Depends on where you're going, but like to get to where Scotty's at, to get to North Shore, about an hour and a half, or less.
Y'all gonna make that drive to compete, because once you get to regionals, that's who you want to be competing against. So you want to test yourself early.
And that was who was in our region. Now North Shore was what's now 6A, used to be 5A, and West Orange Stark was what's now 5A, used to be 4A. So we were a division down when it came to regionals and district, but in state, but that made us better. That competition made us better.
Yeah.
When I was over the track programs at West Orange Stark and Texarkana, I would drive to Lancaster to go to Meet of Champions. Stoke, man, you can relate to this. When I was at West Orange Stark, we would drive up, stay in Marshall for the night, and we would run at Atlanta Jackrabbit relays because they had that, with Blaylock and them, they had that really, really good competition. And it was 3A competition. So that's who I was going to see at the state track meet. So I wanted to get a little sneak peek, and we would do that every year.
Okay. Stoke and Longview would be at the DeSoto track meet. So they always travel.
We was everywhere, man. We was everywhere. Anywhere our Coach Jones was putting us anywhere we thought we could compete, man. So, getting us ready for the state meet.
That's what good coaches do.
So the person that recruited me from Stephen F. Austin was, let me back up. So I'm like Stokes. So I was an all-state cornerback. Most of my offers came from DB. There's only 2 schools that offered me to play receiver. And Stephen F. Austin was the second one, and they came in late. I was committed to Louisiana Lafayette, which was USL at the time, a guy named Gerald Broussard, who ended up coaching at Stephen F. later. He recruited me to Lafayette, and my mom loved him. I loved him. I committed there. But, man, look, on my recruiting visit, Jake DeLong and Brandon Stokely were our hosts. Well, Stokely was a year older than me. He had just broke the freshman reception record, and his daddy was the head coach. So I was like, man, I ain't going to see the field. You know what I mean? Well, A&M had offered me a half scholarship. That's when they could offer partial scholarships. They offered me a half scholarship to play receiver there. So I guess I did have 3 offers on offense. But my grandfather was like, I'll flip the bill for the rest. But I didn't want to do him like that. You know what I'm saying? And then a coach came in one day, and he sat me down and he really sold me. And man, I didn't know this dude from Adam, and it was Gene Chiswick. You know, Chiz recruited me. Chiz recruited me, and now he tried to make a pitch for me to go play on the defense side of the ball, but you know, I wasn't biting. I told him straight up, if I can't have a chance to try out to play receiver, you know, I'm not going. I'm gonna stay committed to Lafayette. And because I came on Stoke, I know I was on the recruiting visit with you. I know I took, because it was about 25 of us.
Yeah, it was big.
Yeah, it was a big recruiting weekend. But man, she just sold me, and then you know I like being with all of you guys on our recruiting visit because it just felt like more of a family type deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Coach Chill was the man.
Yeah. You know, hey, he offered me a job at Iowa State as a quality control, offensive quality control coach, and I accepted it. But man, I accepted, and it was like this week, like 15 years ago. It was this week of the year, and I had just become that spring. I had just become the offense coordinator at my alma mater, and I called him back two days later. I was like, man, him and Coach Mack. I said, man, I can't do that to my old coach, man. I can't leave him. And what's crazy is when he left Iowa State, because he never offered me another job. When he left Iowa State, he took the offensive quality control guy with him to Auburn, which is crazy.
Well, I mean,
that's
decisions,
crazy.
man. You got to make decisions, man. It's just the way of life, man.
War Eagle.
He chose to be loyal. That's commendable. You know, that's what your dad was, loyal to West Orange Stoker for so many years. You know,
if it wouldn't have been my alma mater, man, I wouldn't have done that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
Okay, so what are some memories you guys have? Some fond memories y'all have of SFA from your time down there?
What kind? You really want to?
Okay,
hey, look, I wasn't there as long as y'all were. Now I wasn't there as long as y'all were.
He started live.
Okay, so rookie night. Y'all remember the rookie night we had to do when when we got there? And like I can't remember who won, but I just remember rookie night being like fucking awesome. You know, it was like Ryan White. He was hosting. He was being like Sandy. You know, like the Jimmy Johnson. My hair, don't touch my hair. He did Coach Mack, you know, stuff like that. You know,
I'm vaguely remembering that, but I do remember.
I did Loop.
Remember.
Hey, I was Loop.
Coach Looper.
I was Loop.
Okay. See, and then I remember Gator. Y'all remember Gator when he came out with that big old knife? Yeah. Like it was just hilarious. It was like rookie night was really, you know, when you say it was like a family, it was like really us really being a part of the team. Yeah. With that initiation process right there. Because we were so scared to go around Trot and KB. They were so big, we didn't want to get jumped, but rookie night just really just solidified us being a part of the team. And I really remember that.
I mean, when I first came in, man, I was we was doing a drill where the running backs, they call it up, running backs is the linebackers. And I remember Pat House went first. And Trop was up there, and Pat basically fell down, and because Trop was trying to bull rush you, and then it was my turn to come up, and then Trop was up. I was like, this dude big, and that was a thought I had in my mind. I was like, it's a big dude right here, but I was like, man, I'm from Longview, man. I got to just step up in there. I stepped up in there. He bull rushed me, but he fell. I think Coach Nunn was over there. He was like, he didn't get to the bag, Stoke. I'll take it. But he ran me over, man, because the dude was about 240, 250, whatever he was, man. He ran through me, but he fell but didn't get to the bag, man. That's like a memory I have in my head.
Brock was so intimidating because he was like Calvin Mack. He was, because the program had just came out, our senior year in high school, something like that. Junior, and so we get to come, and that's what he looked like. He looked like Calvin Mack, lifting weight, about 5 plates on each side of the, like, yes, very intimidating.
But it was good though.
So I actually went up a week early, and I stayed with KB and Trot because KB's from West Orange. Yeah. So my dad, they dropped me off, and so I had spent the first time I saw them. When Dad dropped me off, they were doing one rep max is on the power clean from the floor with Coach Likens in that old weight room in the very back.
Tiny.
And I walked in and they were cleaning from the floor. They were clean and they stood up with it, both of them. No, they had, like, I'm building up to it. They had 425 on the bar. Now, I watched KB in high school because I was an 8th grader when he was a senior. I've seen him squat 780 pounds. So I knew how strong he was. Yeah. But I remember thinking, man, I'm in the wrong place. Because now I was a 500-pound squatter, but nothing like what they were. I mean, they just threw up on the power clean 425. I mean, I just couldn't believe it, you know. And and then the next day, we all, you know, the people that were in town, because it was at the end of the summer, we were doing one-on-ones. And I just remember Quinn was out there throwing. And I remember he told, I didn't even know Quinn. Rookie, run a go route. So I ran a go route. And, man, I caught the ball. And Trot was man on man with me. Trot was. I caught the ball, and his hand was right there. I was like, man, this is an inside line. This is a Mike Backer. Like, there's no way. Like, college football ain't for me if a Mike Backer could run with me. Now, I didn't know it was going to be a guy that was going to get inducted to the Philadelphia Eagles Ring of Honor. But, I mean.
You do it now. It didn't take long.
Nah, it didn't.
It didn't. Yeah. Since we talking about Trot, Stoke, I think you might remember this. Trot had like a project he had to do. And for this project, he was describing how to strip the ball. And he had like somebody like record him in the game. And he stripped the ball. He had the perfect technique. And he went and did it in the game and did it for his project. And it was like, how do you say, okay, this is going to be my project. I'm going to go out here and I'm going to do the exact same thing on the game.
I'm going to execute it and I'm going to get an A on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, come on, man. That's why he was, played at the level he did.
Yeah. Hey,
everybody got so many stories about him.
But the other best memory, and you brought in this, I think you slapped me on my helmet. I was tired, man. In that Jacksonville State game. When I ran that 289, I think it was 289 yards. I don't know if anybody broke that yet. It was at
home, right?
Yeah, it was at home. It was raining, and I think the other backs they were hurt or something, man. And so I had to hold it down the whole game, basically. And I remember running, man. I 289 yards. When I hit that one, when I broke it was a record I broke. And then Eddie B was like, "Hey, you just broke a record." I was like, "Did I?" And you was hitting me on my head. I was trying to get away from you because I was tired. I was like, "No, man, don't hit me on my head, Zach." I was trying to, but man, that was like, I don't know if anybody. I haven't been keeping up. I don't know if anybody's broken that record or not. It was a single game rushing record, but I don't know if it's been broken. Somebody probably got it by now.
Man, that's a lot of yards. They probably ain't. They probably didn't break it, man.
I remember, I think somebody named a running back, Gus Johnson, I think it was. I think he got close to it.
I don't know. I just remember that. I remember that game. You had a long run on the left side. It was on our sideline.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get you a block. I think you might have went out on the 1 yard line. And, I took pride in my blocks. And I'm going up to the DB. I'm finna cut him, and he's still throwing me. It's the first time I got stiff on as a receiver trying to get blocked. But, I mean, you got it all the way down to the 1 yard line. But if I'd have got that block, you'd have scored. But it's just like little memories like that. You feel like you could have done better on certain plays.
Right.
It was hard to lead.
Right.
So I will tell you, and again, I was redshirt, and then I was there for another year, and then I was gone. But early on that year, I was backing up Ricks. So you backing up Ricks, you ain't seeing the field a whole lot. And I will tell you, that was difficult for me because as a guy that in high school, I had been a 3-year starter. 2 of those years, my junior and senior year, I was both ways, and I was an all-state punt returner too. So I never came off the field. In the third quarter of that game in Montana, okay, we're in Montana, all right? The grass is – y'all remember how tall the grass was this tall. I mean, it was 6 inches tall. And I get in the game because something was going on with Rick's. He was ankle or something like that. And it's 3rd down and 8 when I enter the game, okay? We ran a bench route. Well, I was the slot. I was inside. So a bench route is, if you remember, Zach, It's an
I
option
remember
route.
y'all
So
cross.
you're gonna run a comeback if you're on the inside receiver. You run a comeback. You push up like 14 back to 12 or whatever it is. Or if there's a distance you're trying to get to, you break it off. But if they're in man-to-man cut, that's versus zone. If they're in
Supposed to
man,
wheel it.
you will it. Well, they have been in zone the entire game. I've been paying attention to the game. I'm looking at film. They're in zone. In my mind, Stoke, I'm thinking I got to get to that down marker and get to the first down. Bro, I ran a perfect rail comeback. I pumped them feet, turned around. I mean, I'm wide open. Dog, I see the ball. Peyton threw the ball, and I looked where the dude was. I was like, because I wasn't reading nothing.
Yeah.
And I had told everybody that I knew, hey, we're gonna be on TV, watch the game, blah, 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 blah. Well, that was really before cell phones for me were just like coming to thing. But I remember, we had to punt, and when I was jogging off the field, out of the
Coach
corner of my
Pierce.
eye, I could see Chip and I could see Coach Pierce. And they were both like coming to me. So I just kept going further and further down the sideline. So I had no idea what we don't know what the cameras are showing, whatever. And so when I got home back to Hall 20, I had about 50 messages. Man, you got cussed out on man. I saw the replay of that game, and man, it like zoomed in. The commentator was like, well, Toby Foreman must not have ran the right route or something like that. But that was a crazy memory because, man, I really think that was a defining moment for me because from that point on, that's when the trio, the three amigos, Tad, Freddie, and Rich, they kind of surpassed me playing time wise and on the depth chart. And I tell that story to our kids. I'm like, when I was an 8th grader, I had a defining moment for athletics. And then when I was a redshirt freshman, I had the opposite defining moment, for sports. And so I use it as something to teach, my kids now. Always be ready. Always be prepared.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. That's good.
Yeah. Okay. And I want to say, Coach Pierce, man, I really appreciate Coach Pierce because I feel like Santiago was a tough dude to make happy, But, one thing I liked about Coach Pierce, it's little things, but movie nights. When we used to go to movies before the games, home or away, that meant a lot to me. Like, he want us to feel comfortable, our comfort zone. And so little stuff like that, man, that's what kind of made SFA, a place I was glad to be at, because he really looked out for us. But also, when we was our senior year, when they was in the playoffs, man, I know y'all was watching them play Montana, and we was like, man, I couldn't wait to be a part of that kind of, playoff atmosphere. And we never got that opportunity till our senior year, and then they screwed us, by not letting us go to the playoffs, man. That was like the biggest.
They got us bad on that one.
Yeah,
man.
they did us dirty on that one though, Toby.
Yeah, they did us real bad on that one. We couldn't believe it. None of us could.
You get an automatic bid for winning conference. Well, we co-champs. So
That's
instead of 8, we get 9. And it's still 7 more spots.
Yeah.
How we don't get no spot, man. And it's just like those things like that, man, stick with you forever. Because I really believe, going from Pierce to Santiago, changing offense, and we didn't start the season off good. And we went 8-3 co-champs. I felt like we had opportunity to win something, go deep in the playoffs. I really believe that.
I actually did too, man. But it didn't work out, So we'll never know, I guess.
Yeah, we'll never know.
Yeah, it was kind of disappointing, but I always like when we played Sam Houston, man. That was a big rivalry game. Jace DeGaulle, I always want to see. He got this picture. I guess one of his friends and whoever played was I don't know, I forgot his name, was Sam Houston. And I'm telling them, man, every running back got hit hard. if you were running back across your career, you've taken hits. You man with the ball.
Yeah.
You running around trying to score. Everybody coming at you. You're a running back. He always got this one picture, I guess, where Sam Houston got a real good lick on me. My helmet was coming up. And he'll send that to me, man. And so I actually forgot about that until he sent me that picture. He sent it to me. I was like, oh, I remember that game, man. He got a good kid, the linebacker. I think it was a linebacker or a safety, got a good shot on me. But those games, man, against Sam Houston, those are really, really tough games, man. but I
Yeah.
enjoyed them.
Yeah. I love playing in the Southern Conference. I love playing in Louisiana with Northwestern,
Yep,
McNeese. You
Northwestern,
know, even played
McNeese.
in Monroe. Like, I love playing Louisiana, man, because they be looking up and them fans. Like, I love them tough crowds.
Yeah, those are tough games.
Yeah.
So man, I went to because McNeese is 30 minutes from Orange. I had been going to McNeese games my whole life, because there was always people from Orange County that played over there, and Dad would take me to the games. Plus, when Lamar shut their program down in the 80s, even though Dad had left, because Dad was coaching in the 70s at Lamar University, we didn't have games to go to, so we would go to watch McNeese play. So that, to me, McNeese's environment was like a mini LSU environment. We always played night games over there, and they partied all day, and it just kind of built up to that, and their fans were crazy. It was just a crazy
Yes.
atmosphere, but it was a great football atmosphere.
It was good
Always.
football.
Yeah.
No, it was great football.
All right. So, we talking about college. Let's talk about the little NIL deals. How do you guys feel about these NIL deals and cats getting $5 million for 3 years to go play at Texas Tech, man? Like, what's your first thoughts when you hear stuff like that?
Yeah. You know what, man? I don't have a problem with it, to be honest with you. I wish it was around when we was playing. I'm gonna be honest with you because football, is no guarantee you're gonna make it to the next level, to the NFL. You got injuries, you gotta
that part right there, them injuries.
Anything can happen. You know what I mean? And these athletes for a long time bring in a lot of money for these schools. And I'm not even just talking college, I'm talking high school, all the way through college. Bring in talking revenue, significant piece of revenue that's coming in just from these athletes. So why not?
And they want to put that word amateur on it, so we couldn't get paid.
Yeah, so why not pay them? It's plenty to go around, in my opinion. Really, my case is made because you can see the type of money that's being shelled out now to these athletes. So that tell you it's plenty to go around. These organizations not suffering from that. So I don't have a problem with that. I know it's changed the game some, the way you recruit. I know it can hurt some of the kids that's coming out of high school as well for as they're recruiting. So it's some pros and cons to it, but I wish it was around when we was playing.
So, Stoker, if it was around when we were playing, you would have went to A&M and I would have went to Lafayette.
And that's what I'm. And that's.
Hey, you would have been a DB, like, and I would have been backing up Isaiah Brandon Stokely. That's what would happen.
Just think about it. Especially if you're a kid that's coming out of a situation where you're not rich or you don't have that kind of money. You coming out of a struggling situation. Somebody put that type of money in front of you. Come on, man. What you gonna do? And that's what's happening today. And so that's why I say I don't have a problem with it because it's changing people's lives, families' lives out there. Some of this NIL money,
Well, most of those kids on scholarship, they didn't really have a means to pay for school anyway. So with the NIL, that's just one upping them, and, because the next level is definitely not guaranteed. You just need to get that degree before you leave.
So I have. From that are alumni of Shoemaker, we have 10 that'll be in Division I football this year. Okay, of the 10, at least 5 of them are making 6 figures or more, and then there's one of them that's making $850,000. And I mean that's and Stokes, since I've been here, Zach, I ain't had nothing. I've had a couple of 3-star recruits. I mean, we haven't had like the guy, we've had some guys that have done well. We just had a receiver that went to Baylor, and then he's with the Dolphins now. But
I was going to bring. He with the Dolphins now?
Yeah, he's with the Dolphins. Okay. But man, let me tell you. So I coached in high school. I coached the GM at Texas Tech, Blanchard. I coach him, and so we talk a lot. Man, I just wish. So he gives me a lot of information on what's coming and what's happening. I just wish they would regulate a little better because, man, I was sitting here with some kids and some big-time colleges and their parents, and it's the Wild West. You know what I'm saying? It really is the Wild West. And I do wish I'm glad all these guys are getting paid because I'm all for that. I just wish there was some type of regulation on it. I do think that's coming, just like I do believe there's about to be more regulation on that transfer portal. I think they're about to go one time only unless you're a graduate transfer. I think that's very close to happening.
To
Yeah,
me,
that
that's what's
transfer
wild.
portal.
That transfer portal is what's wild to me. Now that's something I'm thinking like, wow, you know, if a kid don't want to play or they feel like, hey, I'm not getting a chance, back in the day, you had to kind of, because you didn't want to lose a year. So you had to kind of just, hey, I got to just try to get, get in the number 2 or get in the starting position. Now
That was the system.
portal out.
You wait your turn. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't about, oh, I can't play, I'm leaving, I'm going here. Like, that was the system. Wait your turn, get better at the plays that you're doing, and learn from the players above you. Keep the tradition going. Like, that's what made McNeese and Northwestern. That's what made them rivalry so good, because we played there for 4 years.
I think the transfer portal dangerous too, because
It's a
I think a lot
sword.
of kids, a lot of kids look at, here's a social media thing too that's happening. So a lot of kids sit back and they see somebody they know, boom, getting picked up by some big schools, and like, boom, I'm gonna jump in this transfer portal, and they end up sitting there, don't get picked up when they could have been at a school playing. So now they sweating over here. Then they end up going down a couple levels just so they can play ball. So I've seen some situations like that where it's actually hurt kids versus helping them. And so that's where I say it's a little bit dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, everybody, you got to pick your poison, you got to believe in yourself. Yeah, it's definitely a gamble. All right. Okay. So this is something I read. It's a cat. What's his name? Monte Harrison, right? He's gonna be a receiver at Arkansas. But when he came out of high school, 20 years ago, he got drafted by Major League, by the Padres. So he's been playing professional baseball, and now he is going to Arkansas with his full eligibility. He's 30.
He had a 30-year-old.
He's 30.
Man, you got to put a cap on the age, man.
That's a grown. I'm like, I'm gonna really pay attention to see how he do this year. But like, that's crazy.
Grown.
I thought they had to play like NAIA type schools, but hey, he's at Arkansas, so that's gonna be interesting. He's 30 years old and he got all the eligibility.
Yeah, my son sent me that.
I think Chris Winkie was like 26 or something like that when
Chris Winkie was old.
Yeah, when he was a quarterback at Looper went. I think he was like in the Army, and he came back when he was like 27 or 28.
I didn't know he was that old.
Right before we got to SFA, he played 1 year at running back because he was at Oklahoma State in the 80s, and he was playing there.
Did he play with Thurman Thomas?
Yes.
Man, hey, that's crazy how we don't really pay attention to it until we get older. But yeah, that's crazy. I couldn't believe that. So
did we lose Stoke?
My son sent me that, man. I was thinking like, wow, let me go see if I got any eligibility left, man. Let me see if I can. I'm not messing with the young boy.
All right. Let's talk a little NFL now. And I think everybody kind of have some kind of ties to the Cowboys. When we was in high school, I mean, how could you not be a Cowboys fan at the age we are?
Chicago Bears.
Yep.
You was always Chicago Bears?
Always.
Okay. You must be in Jim McMahon and Sweetness. That must what made you on it.
That's what got me, man. Walter Payton.
My all-time favorite player is Walter Payton.
Okay. We
got that in common. Hey, look, I got to go see him play against the Dallas Cowboys.
See, that's good, man. Yeah, well, the reason Walter Payton, man, appealed to me because I liked his work ethic. He wasn't that big, right? So it kind of, I kind of put myself in. I was like, you know what, man, this guy can go, man. And
you embodied him.
Yeah, I embodied that. I was like, man, you know what, man, that's somebody. And so once I started watching him, man, I just became a Chicago Bear fan. It's hard to be a fan these days, but it is really hard. But I'm thinking we're gonna have a shot this year, man. We got a new
Yeah,
coach.
with Coach Ben Johnson. Yeah,
Ben Johnson coming from the Lions, man. Hopefully he bring that mindset, that offensive. Hopefully we can get something going with Caleb Williams. But I think, I'm looking for the Chicago Bears, man.
Definitely have the potential.
So they're gonna have to get people off the field on third down. That was one of their biggest problems last year, is because now he did turn the ball over a lot, the quarterback, but the O-line was sketchy, but the defense would play good. I watch them. I wager sometimes on these games, and man, they could not get people off the field on third downs. And it wasn't just the secondary, it wasn't just the front. It was like every game, it was a different position, But
that's a little more than sometimes.
Yeah, no, you're right. But look, so while we were in high school, those 3 Super Bowl rings, there was a West Orange Stark alum, Kevin Smith. He was there for 10 years. He got all 3 rings. Yeah. And so my whole town was, Texas A&M, because that's where he went, and then Dallas Cowboys.
Right.
All right. So Toby, you're not the only one who did coaching. Stoke used to coach a Detroit Lion in Little League. Who you think he used to coach from the Detroit Lions when they was in Little League?
Are they on the team now?
They're on the team now.
Come on, man. He's a running back.
Yeah.
Montgomery?
Boom.
Look, that's what I'm talking about. Hey, look, I always draft him on my fantasy team because he does nothing but score touchdowns.
You know what, man? He ran the same way. He run the same way in Little League. When he was running in Little League, same way he run now, man. He just always been a machine. So we had a couple kids come out of the organization, Little League organization, that's in NFL. So that's always a proud thing.
What college did he go to?
Yeah, what college? I was going to ask, what college?
He was up at not Iowa State, but Iowa State. Iowa State.
I didn't know that. I did not know that.
Yeah. We chopped it up a couple of months ago, and he told me, and I was like, man, that's stuff there you can't ever forget, right? Like, man, I coached this dude. Look, I saw this a long time ago. So yeah, those proud moments when you see him do.
Same thing with Paris Johnson. He wasn't necessarily on my team, but he was in our organization. Just seeing him come up, he over at Arizona. He came through Ohio State, big lineman. Seeing kids like that, man, make it to the NFL.
Their dreams.
Yeah, living their dreams, man, and just watching them come up, man. For one, it just showed me that, wow, man, I'm getting older. Yeah, because these kids in the NFL now. So, it's just good to see.
Well, thank you for helping me win about 3 fantasy leagues last year.
Yeah, Montgomery in there.
Yeah, man. Hey, he was my flex, but he was money, legit money.
When he was on the field, because he got hurt for a good 4 games, something like that. But
I give them credit because they do a good job of utilizing both them backs.
Gibbs
too.
Yes,
they do.
Yeah.
All right. So we're talking about the Cowboys. What do we think about Dak now that he has these top 2 receivers, and will they be able to continue utilizing the run game like they did at the end of last year? Because to me, that's the key.
So I will say this. I'm gonna step in before Stoke. I like their backfield, even though there's not a staple back, because I like those running backs because they're all quality backups where they've been. I just think now one of them's going to emerge with an opportunity to be the number 1 back, because if you look at those running backs, most of the top 2, and I'm drawing a blank on their names, but I will tell you, when given the opportunity because of injury or whatever the situation, third down situations, those backs have been solid. The one from Denver, what's his name? Is it Williams?
Williams.
I like him a lot. And then what's the other? It was it Carolina or what's the other? Gosh, dog it. I can't.
Sanders.
Who?
Miles Sanders, right?
Yeah, Miles Sanders. Both those guys, in my opinion, in the right situation, and this is the right situation, and let me tell you why. Because Dak Prescott can spin it. They got a tight end that's a threat, and they got 2 outside speedsters that are a threat. That's going to open up the run game. I like the run game this year. A lot more people are giving it credit for it.
I think they're going to do the same thing they do every year, man. Unfortunately, it's something. It's something. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. It's something there.
It's hard to forget though when you have expectations
Dak and all
throughout the year.
this. Dak with all his hip move. It's
Okay, no good.
Well, this is me, Toby. All right, this is me with Dak. All right, to me, when the play is off script, Dak is not going to write that play. He's not going to overcome whatever the defense did to get them off script. And that's what Lamar excels at. That's what Patty Mahomes excels at. That's what those are the plays that beat teams. Those off script plays. If it got to be just like we practice in practice, and you're not gonna win like that.
You sound like a Cowboy fan.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but I will say this: look what he did when he had what's the receiver that left and went to the Browns?
Amari Cooper.
Look what he did when he had a real number two. He hadn't had a real number two that's been healthy in a long time. Now he doesn't have the run game. I like the tight end. I like the offensive line. No, he's not Patrick Mahomes, but nobody is. And he's not been the same since he broke his ankle. But I will say this. I'm going to ride with him one more year. I know some folks, he's got family right there in Vinton, right across the border from Orange. I don't know him, but I know people that do know him. I'm riding with him one more year. I think if their defense, sign Micah, go all in, do whatever you got to do. If their defense plays solid, I think he can get them over the hump in the postseason. And what that means to me is I'm not saying Super Bowl. I'm not even saying, conference championship game. But maybe they win a wild card. Maybe they're in that next round. They just got to get in it. You know what I'm saying?
He got to win two playoff games for me to start feeling like
losing their defensive coordinator, to go be the head coach for Washington. That hurt, dog. That hurt last year. You can say what you want to. Not only did he take a lot of people with him, he was a really, really good in-game adjustment-making defensive coordinator. And they never recovered from that. I like Mike Zimmer, but Mike Zimmer's he's half blind and he's too old. That's just bottom line. I'm being honest. That's what it is.
I don't see. But Dan Quinn last game, didn't they just get ran out the water? What? I'm trying to. Yes, that last playoff game, Dan Quinn.
Green Bay got after him, but Dak had all those interceptions though. I mean,
what I'm talking about. It's twofold.
Yeah, I'm with you. I just think that man is due. I think he's solid. I think he's been through a lot, and I do believe even he understands. Even with that contract, this is it. I mean, I think he
has to show up this year.
Yeah,
he has to show up. All right, and since Stoke is in Cincinnati, and I'm a big Joe Burrow fan, man. I feel like Joe Burrow can make every single throw that needs to be made on the field, man.
I think so too.
He maneuvers in the pocket and still looks downfield. Yes, I'm a big fan of Joe Burrow. I don't really have much negative to say about him. And so
you can't really. I mean, he can ball, man.
He's a gamer.
The thing that worked with Joe was getting his receiver out of college, man. I don't know why more NFL teams don't get that when they got Chase straight out of LSU, been throwing to him. I don't know why more teams don't follow that model. You know what I mean? Because you can see that it works.
Well, a lot of these receivers, they come out ready for day one. Like Malik Neighbors last year, Chase when he came out, Justin Jefferson, these cats come out ready, and we're gonna see if they're gonna do it this year because I'm really interested in seeing how the cat from Arizona does in Carolina.
If the Bengals can start the way they end the season, so last year everybody thought they may sneak into the playoffs.
They almost did.
And then you had the Chiefs just get blown out on that game, and they didn't play any starters or anything, and they got beat up. They got blown out, and so that basically kept Cincinnati out. So they weren't going to let Cincinnati in it because Cincinnati was hot toward the end of the season. If they can start the way they finished last year, I don't see anybody beating them unless they play the Chicago Bears.
Cincinnati's problem is they've had really bad luck with injuries. I mean, they really have through Burrow's career, including Burrow's getting hurt.
It's rich.
But man, how about this? How good was LSU's offense? Because the best two receivers in the game is Jefferson and Chase, and they had Burrows throwing to him. How good was that offense?
I mean, he won the Heisman, and we see why.
Yeah.
I mean, who's going to stick both of them? And then who did they have at running back?
It was Allaire.
Went to Kansas City?
Allaire.
Yeah, Kansas City.
Edwards Allaire.
Yes, they had everything. They checking off all the boxes.
Yeah,
they had everything, tight ends, everything, man.
Yeah.
I think Randy Moss' son might have been tight end or something.
Yeah, I think he was tight end there.
But they had a squad, man. And so that's why I say I don't understand why more teams don't try to follow that model if they can get lucky enough to get the quarterback and then get the receiver that they was throwing to in college for all those years.
I do think, Stoke, that's part of the problem is you have really like Chase and Burrows. What's the odds you're going to get those two guys in the same, draft or back-to-back years because they're so good? But I think if any position falls, running backs and receivers, they fall. They fall in the draft. Running backs especially. I mean, I had an Under Armour All-American in Beaumont at Beaumont Central when I was a head coach, and he ended up going to he actually was with the Bengals for one training camp, and then he ended up playing the USFL. But them running backs, man, you talk about they're undervalued. I mean, they don't get paid as that position used to, and they get picked up real late,
Because they get ran in the dirt for 3 years, and then they going to replace them like they did my boy Zeke. And I was a big Zeke fan.
But we're starting to see, I thought at first, that was going to, it was pushing the running back out the game, basically. But I think Saquon Barkley,
Henry,
they starting to bring that running back.
Yeah.
They starting to bring that back because I was hearing a bunch of talk, hey, is the running back because the running back's not getting paid, not getting those type of contracts that you.
I hate it. They got under my skin here and all that, man.
Yeah, man. But I was happy to see Saquon Barkley's, Derrick Henry, Jameer Gibbs start bringing back that running back and showing them that, hey, you need the running back in the game.
Well, really, Baltimore's Super Bowl window is open as long as Derrick Henry's there, and Philadelphia's is going to be open as long as Saquon's there. It's like they make the defense cover every inch of the field now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And just Lamar might need just a little bit better receivers, and who knows how his offense could go.
I agree with that. Another thing that's helping the running back, Stoke, is extending their careers is them bringing in those third down backs, because it gets some starters off the field, even if it's just for 10, 12 plays a game. Now, Detroit's doing something completely different. They're legit splitting backfield. I mean, it's a split backfield. Yeah. But a lot of these teams now, it's, they got that third down back, and it's normally a guy that he runs good routes, and he's a good pass blocker.
Pace type back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I hope they don't ever push the running back out the game. Fullbacks got pushed out. You used to have all the
certain teams,
certain teams, but everybody, used to have the Mike All-Stars and all those, those guys coming down. That's what a fullback was big, man.
But just think though, San Francisco, they got one. Baltimore gonna have one. Like teams that plan on being there late. They normally have one, but everybody go, it's different. Because I don't think Kansas City have one.
No, I don't remember Kansas City having one. The Bengals not really having, Cincinnati not having one. I don't think Bears. So it's a lot of teams that don't carry the fullback. They kind of, really got pushed out. And then I thought they was doing that with the running back, but like I said, I feel like the running back is back now.
Yeah, with Genty, I really feel like Scatterbo is gonna do something in New York, man. I love watching him in Arizona State.
Yeah, I hope he does, man. I root for all those running backs, man. If I'm a running back, I got to root for all of them, man. I like to see them shine. I want them to keep them in the game. I want them to be an important piece of the game, and have that longevity, for many years. So I don't ever want to see what happened to the fullback happen to the running back.
All right. So I was reading something on Cincinnati. I don't know how close y'all been paying attention to the first round draft pick that they drafted. Y'all see the situation?
Oh, man. See, we hear about it every day on the news, man. Being in Cincinnati.
Have you heard, what's going on, Toby?
No, fill me in.
So the first round pick, they put some language in his contract to where if he mess up, do something wrong, they could take away his guaranteed money. And so like he's the only one who has in his contract. And right now he probably thinking about going back to A&M. Would he be able to do that, Stokes, since you hear a little bit more up in Cincinnati?
I was looking into that. He was back practicing with them, and they were saying that he could actually do that, man, if he don't get a cut. So I don't. That just sounds weird.
Re-enter the draft.
Yeah, I don't know how you really can do that. Be honest.
That is wild.
Well,
he needs to fire his agent.
Well,
yeah.
Bo Jackson, when he got drafted by Tampa Bay, nope, I don't like how y'all did me. I'm not gonna play, and he ended up playing for the Raiders. Like
Right.
I don't really know exactly how this is gonna turn out, but I just know Bo Jackson didn't go to Tampa Bay and end up.
What I don't get though with this whole contract deal is, I don't want to know why he's worried about it. Does he feel like he's gonna go out there and do something stupid and get in trouble?
No, even
though it's in the contract. I mean, what are you gonna go out there and do?
Who knows?
That is bizarre. I read a little bit about that. Once we get close to football season, end season, man, there could be bombs going off, and I don't even. I'm locked into the team. But I did read something about it, but I was like, what? You can't tell nowadays what's fact or fiction on social media.
No,
you can't tell if it's AI or like what is it? Is it? I don't know, but that's weird to me. I didn't know it was an option once you declared for the NFL draft. I thought you were locked into not going back to college.
That's what I thought too. But he was down working out with them, so I don't. Hopefully the guy end up with the Bengals, man, and go ahead and just play instead of going through all this. I mean, he got a lot of money on the table, so I don't know.
What position is he, Stoke?
DN.
DN. Yeah,
dang, they got the dude. They got Henderson holding out, don't they?
Yep. Which I don't. Got two possible DNs not there in training camp.
I don't get that either, because you talking about this guy is in the top 5 out here. How you going to have a guy like that? I want the Bears to get him. I wish because
we know you're a Bears fan for sure.
Yeah, if you watch him play, he make plays, man. I don't get that, man. Get a guy the money he need and let him go out there and ball, man.
You want to know? He doing all that and we still lose, and they trying to use that mentality like it's not impactful.
Yeah, I don't get it. He an impactful player. So that's a distraction to me.
Yeah, that's on them. And, that's probably why Cincinnati can't ever get over the hump, because of situations like this. Things that shouldn't be an issue are an issue.
Right.
So, Toby, because of you, we're going to talk about the NBA, and we're going to talk about your beloved Knicks. I'm not
Okay. So, I'm not going to take all that time, because it'll take 2 segments to figure them out. But James Dolan is the equivalent to Jerry Jones. He's the same thing. I mean, he just, he threw if you look at my post, I always put hashtag free Charles Oakley because he threw my man out the club. But no, man, he, kudos to him lately for letting the GM do a good job and do his thing and not, step in. But tell me why they got rid of Tibbs, and tell me why they had no plan on hiring a coach. We went to the NBA draft with no head basketball coach.
With him doing as well as he did, I don't care that Boston got hurt. Give him some more rope. Give him one more season to me.
He should have had one. Let me tell you something. I had tickets in 2000 or 2001 when they went to the finals against San Antonio. I had tickets game 6 and 7. Latrell missed the layup and we lost in 5. They won it. They won it in New York. They won it. But that's the last. It's been 24, 25 seasons since we've been to the conference finals, and every year he's progressed. We got out in the first round, then the second round, then the Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, in all fairness, and I know they did it against a lot of people, but the shot, the comeback, there was a stat the day after the comeback that the Pacers made that Halliburton hit that shot that hit the top of Madison Square Garden back
when he did the choke sign.
So, the stat was this: teams that have been up 9 or more points under 51 seconds left in a postseason game, they were 1,414 and 0. And the
Yeah.
next day, they were 1 and 1,414.
But they did that like this was a magical run for Indiana.
It
like,
was.
I'm a Halliburton fan now. Like this was magical.
Me too. Me too. And that was magical. But let me tell you, and all those other games as well. But let me tell you something. No basketball hit the rim, went up 20 feet, come straight back down. I mean, that was unbelievable. It was
like
worse than Reggie Miller.
That's like the Kawhi shot against Philadelphia to go to the finals.
Dog, it was a worse feeling than what Reggie Miller did to us when he did what he did. I mean, it was terrible. We've suffered so much as Knicks fans, but I do believe this. The roster is there. I like Mike Brown. I'm a Mike Brown fan. I think he did a great job in Cleveland with what he had to work with and a young LeBron. I think he's done a great job in Sacramento. Sacramento was dead wrong. I made a post about that last year. They were dead wrong for getting rid of him. I personally wanted Sam Cassell. If we couldn't have got my man Jason Kidd, I wanted Sam Cassell. I think Sam Cassell's due for a head job in the NBA. But I'll take Mike Brown, even though I think it's a lateral move, and I think you ride with Tibbs. But dude, the reason that they got rid of Tibbs is because of that series against Indiana and that game 1 loss.
Well, I like how he got the best out of Towns because I'm real sketchy on him, but he seems to play big for Tibbs, and that's big. But other than that, I don't think he utilized his bench. I think they held that against him, and he
didn't. I mean,
absolutely had to.
Michael and those. I mean, Bridges. He didn't use those guys great down the stretch. There was times where Josh Hart, I didn't understand why he was sitting on the bench, and those are rotation guys. He had a 7-man rotation, sometimes 8, but that was it. But you're right, and that got him. That was what got him. But I mean, at the end of the day, you give that man another chance, man.
You give him at least 1 more year, and then that could be your excuse.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
But what I also like, because New York hadn't really been in the playoffs, or Indiana, and when those teams make those long playoff runs, you get to see the players who from back in the day. So you got to see Ewing, no Oakley, but you get to see, all the old time John Starks and all them. I like seeing that. People who we grew up watching. Even the Pacers, and you see Travis Best, Reggie Miller always on there, but Larry Johnson came up. But I like seeing the old heads come back to watch them play. That give me a good feeling of them old school rivalries because everybody buddy nowadays.
Stoker, who you like in basketball?
I like the way Boston play. Man, with Tatum and Brown, them boys, they some ballers, man.
You breaking my heart, Stoke. You breaking my heart.
I'm telling you, man. Watching
y'all got a rivalry. Y'all might like the Bears and sweetness in football, but y'all show rivalries.
Yeah, man. You went straight to the ultimate rival. Let me tell you, because I'm friends with a guy on Facebook. He is a diehard Boston, Celtic, and he talked all year. Hell, I had to agree with him. He talked all year about, nobody in the NBA is going to beat this team in 7. No, they were 4-0 against the Knicks in the regular season, and then we beat them in 6. And I was running my mouth. I was running my mouth.
I'm gonna tell you why I'm not a Boston Celtics fan, man. Because I'm not I like all players, So I really like all teams. But when Danny Ainge got rid of Isaiah Thomas, the second one.
Oh, okay.
After he played that playoff game, when it's just like, man, that rubbed me all the wrong way, man. And I know he gone, but it's still his time in Boston where he did that to my guy, man. Because
that did him. That after that, man, he never recovered. I think he kind of bounced around in other leagues, and I think he might have came back for a short term. Yeah. Maybe they signed him like a short-term contract.
Hey, man, he balled out that year, man.
Isaiah Thomas was, man, he was nice, man. I just don't get what happened. What happened with that?
I think he ended up having like a hip injury, and that kind of helped him, not really be as successful too. But just that move right there, man, like that's why like I cheer for players. I don't cheer for franchise because they do stuff like that. And I think Anthony Davis' dad was like, he didn't want him playing for Boston because of that happened. But
see, that's another reason. Since you said Anthony Davis, that's another reason I think you need to get your money when it's there, because they'll call you and just trade you like it's nothing, man. You know.
Yeah.
So that Anthony Davis trade was crazy to me. You know what I mean?
It's crazy to everybody.
You know, I mean, why would you do that? You know, so that's why I'm always a fan of the player too, man. You know, get your money, get as much money as you can, because at the end of the day, it's business. And when they decide that they want to move you here, just like Luka, hey, we're gonna move. That didn't make sense. You know, so whoever making these calls, it's about money at the end of the day. So get your money.
Yes, it is. That new luxury tax. I don't think Dallas wanted to pay that Luka that max money or whatever, so they can try and build around him. So they got rid of him, and they got to be rigged, man, with them getting the Cooper flag, man. There's no way they're supposed to get the number 1 pick, because now, you know, they have a decent team whenever Kyrie able to come back.
I do like Kyrie Irving. So, you know, I'm not a fan of how they did, but I do like Kyrie Irving, man. I just like his whole game. You know, I love to see him on the team go get a championship, but but Boston, man, I think Boston's solid. I just feel like they're gonna be solid for a while.
Well, they're gonna have a rough year next year, so it's gonna be tough for you, buddy. So hopefully the Bears make up for it for you.
I hope so. I'm not a diehard Boston fan or anything like that. I just I like Tatum and Brown, man. I think that game is solid.
Yeah, I can.
I like Kevin Durant too, man. I'm a Kevin Durant type fan too. So
he be pissing me off, you know, how he be acting. But yeah, I like his game too.
Bronny James, you know, you're gonna be a Bronny James fan soon. You know, following his dad's footsteps. He actually having a good season, man, in that league, I guess. And I've been watching him, man. I think Bronny gonna be all right. End of the day.
Well, it took a while for him to really recover back from the little cardiac arrest, because that's not something to just look over.
Right.
Yeah. You know, he's getting more like himself, I guess. But yeah, man, I just want to talk about the Knicks because I know Toby a big fan, because I like messing around with Tom Thibodeau. It looked like Charlie Brown to me, man. His damn hair.
Tibbs need to go ahead and cut that, man. There's only about 3 strands. You got about 3 or 4 strands up there.
And go just glaze it over, like, you know.
Do this number right here. That's all you need to do. I
swear to God, I saw that on TV, man. That's why I posted on Facebook. Like, oh my God, that was just too hilarious for me. But yes, I do like the Knicks this postseason, and Brunson. I just feel like they need one more piece to really be the contenders they want to be. And I think it's a 3, because, you know, Anthony Towns gonna have the block. He gonna play both, but I really think they need a 3-and-wing player to really help them get over the hump. Because Jalen Brunson can't you know, save the day every fourth quarter.
I agree with you. What I know you're running this show, but are we gonna talk about college football?
Yeah. What we want to talk about?
I mean,
I was just talking about.
I want to know Stoke, because you're in Cincinnati. Are you an Ohio State fan?
I mean, they solid. They solid, man. You see what they did, right? They got beat by Michigan, but they won the big game, right? And I think
they lost me some money that damn day too.
You know what I think, Ryan? They needed that, because when you look at them now, that looked like that took a ton of stress off that man. Because, you know, I feel like he didn't know if his job was going to be on the line or not. But I think him winning that championship game, man, was huge for his career moving forward. So I like the Buckeyes. You know, I've always in the past I like the Hurricanes, the Miami Hurricanes. So, but now,
hey, because I know he don't know I'm a Florida State fan. He's killing me right now, Zach. I mean, it feels personal with Stoke tonight. I don't know.
I didn't know, man.
No, I'm a nose fan. Zach knows because we're friends on Facebook, so he sees all the stuff that I post, and when they got hosed on that undefeated season, I kept making posts. I mean, it was brutal. But
Look here, Toby. I got a good friend who we played against him. He played in Montana. He played in Montana. His name Justin Gaines, and I coached with him at Texas A&M Commerce. So Coach Carlton knew him. This dude go to every Florida State game, home and away, Toby.
I ain't that big of a fan, but I mean, I really am. I just ain't got the time. I went to go see them play the year in 2013 when they won the national championship at Florida, and this was crazy. So one of the coaches on my staff played at Texas. He was a tight end with another tight end that was coaching in Florida. Well, I just asked. I said, "Hey man, what's the odds of me getting tickets to go see Florida State?" Well, it was in Gainesville, and my buddy that I work with, he said, "Look, they're about to get fired. I don't know if it's everybody, but somebody's about to get fired." So I sat in the family section. Of course, I wore neutral colors because I wasn't gonna be disrespectful, because that's the dude that got me tickets. But look, and it was a close game. Florida State ends up winning late, but the tension in the coaches' families and wives' box was crazy because I guess there was friction with the offense and defense. So we stayed the night. The next day, we're driving out of town because that's a Thanksgiving time game. We're driving out of town listening to Kick Six happen, Alabama and Auburn on TV, and it came across the broadcast. The University of Florida coach and staff has just been relieved of their duties. So it was because they didn't even make a bowl game. It was crazy, man. That was a crazy day. That was a crazy time.
So Marcus Outson used to play quarterback for Florida State. It's what? When Peter Warwick was there, I want to say 90.
So when Warwick was there, it was Winky and
It was the year after Winky then.
Okay. I know who you're talking about, yeah.
You call him the Red Rooster, I think. I played arena ball with him.
Okay.
I played arena ball with him in Jacksonville. And, man, like, for 4th of July, we went to Fort Walton Beach and Destin Beach. And that's, like, the best beach in America to me. Destin Beach.
Yeah.
If you guys never been there. But, yeah, I played with him, and I played with Rashad Casey, if y'all remember him. The quarterback for Penn State. Both of them was on that little Jacksonville team. I played there with Pullen. Pullen got me on the team.
Oh, okay.
That's cool. Y'all know I know when I left, but I don't know if I kept up with everybody, but I played 2 years of arena ball in Louisiana. I played for the Lake Charles Land Sharks. We were in the NIFL is what it was. Man, that was fun time.
Yes, it was.
That really was fun.
It was still football. It was just condensed.
Yeah. Especially for me, because look, let me trip y'all out. So I kept up with y'all. I know, you didn't keep up with me, but so when I left Stephen F., I moved back in with my parents in Waxahachie, and I had to get my GPA up. So my GPA was terrible. So I went to Navarro Junior College for a year, all A's. Well, I had been offered by several people out of high school, and I started reaching out. I started reaching out to different people. So I ended up at Sam Houston, okay? And so I go to Sam, and I'm practicing with the team. I'm all that. I ended up being 3 credits short from being eligible because I had 2 more years of eligibility. And so, man, that really crushed me. So I ended up, and then it was crazy. Some of the people that we played against, I had Kines classes with them. So that was awkward in itself, you know what I'm saying? But y'all came to town, and it was their homecoming. And I just remember I was like, man, what is – like I played intramural that year. I'm like, man, I should have been playing on this field right now. It was surreal. And then I just thought to myself, I'm like, man, my football playing career is going to end, at basically at Montana with Stephen F. Austin as a redshirt sophomore, or a redshirt freshman. Then I ended up getting picked up my senior year by the Lake Charles Land Sharks, just kind of a freak deal, and I tried out for it. But I played there 2 years, and it was awesome. And then I knew my calling was coaching, so I ended up leaving them and just going coaching full time.
Yeah, because I want to say, I seen you in San Antonio a few years back. That before you even got to West Orange start. I mean, before you even got to Killeen. I don't remember where you was at then.
Beaumont. I was the head coach at Beaumont at the time. Yep.
Yeah. But college football. How do you feel about the SEC and Big Ten feeling like they should get, because they're trying to expand the playoffs? they and the holdup is they both feel like they should get 4 automatic bids.
So here's what I think, okay, on that. Because I follow college football closely. Again, I make the occasional wager, and I got a lot of kids that play college sports. But I just believe you go with conference champions automatic bid, and then you go the next however many teams there is. I think that's fair because you can't say year in and year out that a certain conference is, even though the SEC,
they're gonna have the best teams.
Yeah, because it may be an unusual year, and you get like a Florida State get left out. Like I don't agree with that. Or maybe a Utah. Utah's runner up in the Big 12, but they're better than A&M or whatever, and A&M finishes fourth.
Yeah.
I think that's a good example because sometimes the Utahs of the world put a great product on the field, and that's going to leave them out. And I just don't agree with that. With that many automatic bids, I don't agree with that.
I mean, if they're trying to go 12 to 16, that's half the bids right there.
Yeah.
Why do you think they're doing that? What do you think the motivation is?
Yes. So when they travel, they got the money traveling with them.
Right. That's what I'm saying is that everything. That's why I don't know how to weigh in on something like that because it's all motivated by money at the end of the day.
But then I want to say, the SEC, they had like one of the worst records in the bowl games. Like they didn't even win a lot of bowl games. They might have won 2 out of 8. I think they went 2-6 this past bowl season.
Yeah, but in 2025, dog, you know this as well as I do. Man, all them cats that sit out of them bowls now, it's hard to judge that anymore. If they ain't in the postseason, if they not in the playoffs, they sit out. If they're a top tier draft.
The bowl games it's not like it used to be, man. Back in the day, if you was in a bowl game, that was a big deal.
Yeah.
Guess what?
You're not competing for the championship. You're in the playoffs. You guys sitting out, so you don't have your real team showing up at the end of the day. So
you're right. Especially if you're finna be a first round draft pick that they feel like they ain't finna play for no championship. They not got the NIL. What they risking that for? So I get that too at the same time.
I don't blame them with that.
So Cam Ward, y'all know what Cam Ward did.
Oh yeah.
Bowl game.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right.
I lost money. I lost money on that one.
Okay. All right. So I'm not mad. I'm not mad at Cam because they like you quit on your team. He didn't have to play. And then your team got to win at 0-0. They at least had a 10-point lead at halftime for you. Like, okay, it's in your hands.
All right.
To me, I'm okay with the decision to sit out. I'm just confused on. I know there was a record involved there. I guess he was trying to break it, but I'm just confused on why even take that chance. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't think is the record worth you blowing your knee out and lowering your draft stock and your NFL productivity. To me, I support whatever a student athlete just tries to do, but that to me was kind of off just because. Yeah. I mean, and he got the record, and then he still finished the half, and then the second half. At what point, if he would have broke the record with a game left in the season, would he have stopped playing then? I mean, I don't know at what point you start sitting out. That's my thing.
I mean, yeah, it's questionable, but at the same time, I understand why he did it. I'm gonna play for my boys up to the halftime. I'm not gonna do it more. We got the lead. That's that because I wanted Saquon to rush for 2,000 yards in the regular season, and they kept him out. It's like. And it's like, why do that? It's like, man, y'all have to win the Super Bowl because y'all denied this dude being a part of history.
Right.
It's like, as you as a coach, would you want Saquon to play in that last game, or would you want to sit him out for the playoffs?
You're gonna make a business decision, man. I'm gonna sit him out for the playoffs because at the end of the day, that's an investment.
But as a running back in your career, if you had the opportunity to run for 2K, you would want that though, right, Stoke?
I'm gonna say, I think, if I'm thinking about it that way, if I'm putting myself before the team, you know what I mean? If I'm putting myself before the team, maybe I think that way. But if I'm truly a team player, then I'm gonna do whatever best for the team at the end of the day.
I don't think he had a choice.
I personally think the coach, because I think the coach gave him the option. I mean, I think I could be wrong on that, but I read that somewhere. Also, as an offensive lineman, you may want your guy to get the record. You know, that's what he was running for, not two. He was running for the record. What do you think about my take on, because you remember back in the day during this NFL season when they were picking superlative awards, that man this year had top 3 ever seasons for a running back behind Juice and behind Eric Dickerson. That guy should have been the MVP of the NFL because he was the MVP of the NFL.
Well,
Saquon Barkley had an MVP season. Am I wrong on that?
No. Okay, so like we were saying, the running backs, I felt like Derrick Henry and Saquon should have been at the top of the MVP ballot.
I agree.
Without Derrick Henry doing what he's doing for Baltimore, they're not going to be the number 1 seed. They're gonna be in contention, but they're not going to be there. And the same with Saquon. They could replace running backs, but every running back ain't going to give you what Saquon give you. Like the elite running backs, they're not going to give you what Derrick Henry. And that's what they were just trying to undermine. Okay, yeah, the running back's going to get paid this, but everybody ain't the same. Like Josh Jacobs, everybody can't be Josh Jacobs.
Mm-hmm.
And those and everybody can't be, McCaffrey. And those they deserving of, a higher pay scale than the $12 million they were trying to give out.
It's about the value. It's about the value you bring. At the end of the day, you're getting paid for the value that you bring into the team, man. So that's just the way it works in all facets of business, man.
And that's why they shouldn't be paying them based on position. They should be paying them based on their value and impact to the team. But that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Because, Trevor Lawrence shouldn't be making 55 million.
Oh, man. Like that I don't get that.
But, those are the dynamics.
Yeah, but with college, I agree. I agree with players sitting out. I support it, especially if you're not in a playoff game. If you're not going a playoff run, with the way it's set up these days, sit out, save yourself, go to the NFL, make a lot of money.
Yeah. Can't argue with that, man, because it's really at the end of the day, it's a business decision at that point.
Absolutely.
Best of luck moving forward. That's about all we can do, because I'm constantly making wages. And so, Toby, I'm finna be hitting you up because, I like doing big parlays, and so I might be like 13 out of 16. Toby trying to hit about 80K. So you might hit me on them 3 that I'm missing on.
Come on, hey! I had the best year that I've ever had in an NFL year ever. Last year. Yep.
I want to say the last week of college football, Toby, I hit a 10 pick in college, and the Sunday I hit 11 pick NFL back-to-back days.
Hey, you should have went to Vegas.
But that's what I'm saying, man. I just want to collaborate with people who think like-minded like me, because we watch it too much. Yeah. So you have a valid opinion, but that's just me. So I appreciate you guys coming on my show, man. I don't really have much else to talk about. We talked about it all, from high school to SFA, NIL, NBA. That's what it's about, though, because everybody got a different opinion, different story to tell, and we just come on here and reminisce and have a little fun at the same time.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you inviting me to this. It was cool hanging out with you, Zach, and then catching up with you, Toby. Hey, I haven't seen you in a minute. Glad to see y'all both doing well in life, and just keep moving forward. Keep doing that, man.
Man, look, it was great. I hit up Zach every once in a while, but I know I ain't talked to you in a minute, Stoke. I'm gonna get your number from Zach, man, because it really is good talking to you.
All right, man. Cool. Yeah.
Hit me up. And one, Facebook really keep a lot of us tied together who we probably wouldn't keep in touch with, because they had the Tila saying what's up, but they had the reunion, the 25-year reunion of our conference championship, and I didn't get to make it. And I'm like, damn, when would be the next time they would? Yeah, they had a 25-year reunion for our conference championship a couple of years back, like 2 years ago. And I missed it.
Man, that's crazy.
I'm like, man, like, when they gonna have another one, another 25 years? Like, everybody not gonna be able to make that.
I know nothing about that.
So
wow,
you gotta cherish these little moments that we have, because we coming up on 30 years in high school now. from high school graduating. I know y'all getting ready for y'all 30-year reunion is coming up.
Hey, you got why you reminding me, man? But it's all good.
Look, I mean, because it's the truth. You know what I'm saying? It's going on 30 years, man, since we graduated from high school. So, yeah, we got to cherish these moments, man. So I appreciate y'all coming out, man. And
Hey,
Toby, man, I'm going to keep supporting you. I'm going to come to a game, come to a playoff game when I can. And Stoke, man, you know, when I'm in Cincinnati, if I can get to Cincinnati, I'm going to have to hit you up.
Hit me up. You ever in Cincinnati? Hey, let me know. Come through.
Yeah, because, you know, I like to travel and go to games myself, man. So, you know, I can try and make that happen soon.
Hey, let me know.
Hey, thanks for having me, Zach. And if you want to have me back on, I would love to, okay?
Yeah, no doubt, man. And I look forward to having y'all back on again, man.
All right, man. Good stuff.
All right, fellas. Love, peace,
All right,
and
man.
happiness.